Not very romantic, but there was no misunderstandings this time. It's pretty straightforward. She said, well, I have decided you're the one I want to marry. But before we do that, I want to graduate, work, save some money, and go to Europe. And then after that, I'll be ready to settle down. And I thought, you got to be kidding. We've been dating 6 years. I could see it, what was getting ready to happen. I had finally gotten this young woman ready to be married. She's going to go to Europe, meet some crazy Frenchman who's going to snatch her up after I've done all the groundwork. I said, wait a minute, how about if we do this? How about if we get married, finish school, save up, and I'll take you to Europe? She said, you'd do that for me? I said, sure. I thought, man, I've gone horseback riding with you. It couldn't be worse than that, okay? And so we did. We got married. We finished. We married our senior year in college. Didn't have any. We worked all summer, both of us, 2 jobs, saving money up. And by the way, during that time, that summer, I went from 132 pounds up to 175 pounds. Didn't get any taller. It's like fattening the pig for the kill, okay? Because after the semester started, we paid our tuition, and then we paid our room and for our apartment deposit and telephone, health insurance, and then we bought our books and our tapes and the tuition. Oh wait, wrong place. Okay. I did that on purpose. I got to say this, I shouldn't do it, but I'm going to do it. I think one of the funniest things is the people that come into this business and they keep looking for the hook. Where are they going to take advantage of me? I know they're going to do it. I've been out here long enough to know that somebody's going to take advantage of me. And they come to one of these seminars and they hear us talking about, you got to read these books, buy these books, and read these books. You got to buy these tapes, listen to these tapes, and do what they suggest to them. You got to get these tapes, and then you got to pay your way into your own seminar. And they go, aha! There you are. That's where they rip you off.
Introduce the collagen back into your skin. This is a pure form of collagen that your body will instantly recognize and scavenge.
And those books, they're only paperback. Why, in college, they gave us hardback books. And tuition, yeah, the seminars, yeah. Now, it's usually the college-educated people that have this problem, which is hilarious when you look back on it, because there was no bigger ripoff that you ever had than when you were in college. Now, don't misunderstand me. I'm not against college education. I think everybody ought to get enough of one to realize that you don't need it, okay? I think everybody ought to. And you ought to buy enough of those books that when you're done taking the class at the end of the term, the end of the semester, you go back to the bookstore. You ready? You know, I'm getting ready, don't you? All those that done it, you know what's getting ready to happen. You say, I'd like to go ahead and sell this back to you, and I was a used book. They say, oh, well, we'd like to do that, but the professors decided to change books. That's right, so we'll give you the price of paper. But that's not a ripoff. That's the price of getting an education that you're not going to use. Now, I didn't say all education, just most of the courses you took. So what you decided is, for that, I'll just keep the book myself and I'll use it as a reference. Did you? Yeah. How many times you looked at that book? More than likely you've lost it. Okay? And the seminars. Our seminars are dirt cheap. You pay thousands of dollars for the college to take a statistics course that you barely could struggle through and swore to yourself you would never get close to again. Anyhow, I'm off my soapbox now, okay? All right? Sometimes we get confused about where we're going in life, don't we? We lose sight of the big picture. And you know what? We've got to continually focus on what is the big picture. Sherry and I never looked at any of those things as rip-offs because they were part of the price of getting where we wanted to be. We knew the lifestyle we wanted. We thought the college education would provide it. It certainly did open some doors, okay? It got us headed in the direction that we wanted to go in. So we didn't think twice about it. It was part of the price to pay. And part of that goal was to graduate. We had a goal. We didn't know it was a goal. We didn't know about goals back then. But we'd had one. We wanted to graduate together. Our senior year, within 90 days of starting the school year, I had gone from 175 back down to 132. I came home to visit for Thanksgiving, and my mother thought I had leukemia. My face was drawn, I'd lost all this weight, okay? And I remember, because we looked at our budget, we said, you know what? We got to cut something from our budget. Well, okay, what's on our budget? Food. Okay, scratch that. We were out of money. No food in the house. We didn't have any checks either. If we'd have had checks, I'd have written a bad one. We didn't have any checks, okay? No credit cards. And we need to go grocery shopping. Now, you have to have gone through a period of time like this where you're just broke, okay? Not just poor, you're broke, okay? We went through all the drawers, okay? All my pants pockets, her purse. We even broke into our piggy bank. We came up with 37 cents to go grocery shopping, all right? And we go there and we buy what they called was a chicken. It's about the size of your fist with two little legs sticking out, okay? And I said, well, hey, that'd be perfect for what we've got. That matches that's good. So I get up to the checkout counter, and there's a woman there with 2 whole buggies full of food. Now, the human mind is amazing. It will go whatever direction you send it in, okay? And I remember standing there in line with that woman with all that food in front of us, and I whispered to Sherry, now that is gluttony. Nobody needs that much food, okay? Anyhow, they check her all out. They get her all done there, all right? I put my chicken up there. She pushes the conveyor belt. It kind of wobbles up there, and she hits that thing, hits the backboard at the other end. She looks around like, more food. And I said, this is where you got to act like you got some status, That's what status is. That's when you act like you have more money than you do. I said, we're just picking a little something extra up for the evening meal. She says, oh. She picks it up. I'll never forget this. Kind of a large woman anyhow. And she throws it up and catches it. She said, I think I could eat that all by myself. And just for a second there, I remember thinking, I forgot all about Sherry. And I thought, I think I could eat that all by myself. That chicken lasted us a whole week. We eat the wings one day, and the leg another day, another leg another day, the breast another day. And we boiled the bones and made some soup. It stretched that on out. Why were we willing to do that? And by the way, do you know what? We didn't cry about it. We didn't cry. We didn't say, oh, woe is us. Well, I had one short period that I did that. I was standing in front of the mirror in our bedroom, and I looked, and I noticed my pants were, I said, Sherry, come here, look at this. And I hold my pants out to where they used to fit. And I said, look at this. We're starving to death right here on campus. We're dying here. They're going to try to lease this apartment out next semester. And they're going to walk somebody in here, open the door, and there'll be 2 skinny, shriveled up bodies laying in the living room saying, oh my gosh, and we're going to get written up in the papers, college students starved to death on campus, okay? We're dying right here. Of course, we made it. But you know what? We used to laugh about it. Honestly, we would laugh. You know why I think we could laugh? We had a goal. We wanted to graduate together. It was so firm in our mind. It had a date. It was measurable. It was something that we envisioned. We talked about only so more credits, only so more weeks, and only so more classes, only so more tests, and we're going to be there. And these things would happen, and we'd laugh and say, "Well, this is crazy," and we'd move on down to the next step. You know what? That's what pulls us through. So it pulls us through. Heard a statement not long ago. It was very, very powerful. It says, desire carries us through when discipline collapses. Powerful statement, because that's what happens. But desire can't come without a dream. It's got to have a purpose. And this is what Dexter's taught us for years. A dream comes for us. That gives us the desire to accomplish it. That carries us through when we say, I'm going to do this, and I'm going to do this, and I'm going to do this. And we crumble. Our discipline crumbles. And we look down on ourselves. Well, that's the word, crumb bums. We didn't do that. And we move on because the desire for what we want to accomplish carries us through. And it happened then. And it's happened since then. When we graduated together, which we did, it wasn't too long though after I got out of college with our degree. Sherry got her degree, and I went into it with an idealistic view of what life in corporate world was going to be like. But after a few years, it became very obvious that it was not going to be as I had envisioned it. I took a job with it was the ideal job, honestly, that I thought I was looking for. It was with a very aggressive company, a very progressive company. That meant that they often operated lean and mean. If they found themselves fat, they got lean again. If they found themselves fat, they got lean again. And over a period of several years, I saw 5 of my bosses get fired. That's why I started looking for something else. This is why when I have guys tell me, well, my company just won't let me do anything on the side. I want to talk to you men for just a minute. If you believe that, you, my friend, are a fool. Because I've never heard of any company paying $150,000, $250,000 loyalty bonus for having nothing going on the side to take care of your family if something were to happen. Not even a $50,000 or 10 or 1,000 or even a $5 bonus for having nothing going on the side if something happens. We forget sometimes the purpose is. Now, first of all, let me make sure you understand something. I believe that you, as a result of being in this business, should be the best. If you're going to be an employee, you should be the best employee any company should have. Because you should understand the value of being responsible. Listen, if you sold your time to them, you sold your time to them. While you're there, you should be the best. You should be the best because you've been introduced to goal setting here and the importance of it and planning. You should be the best. But for Pete's sakes, when you walk out after the hours, you should be the best for you too. The reason they have rules like that is they're afraid you're going to find something better. And I want to make sure you understand, you did. You should be pursuing it with every ounce of energy that you have. Because your purpose is, I think, to provide well for your family. That's the reason. And that's what this does best. Anyhow, I saw this happen to these men. They were all smarter than me. They had master's degree and doctor's degree in the fields of sciences, what I was working in, engineering, chemistry, physics, things like that. I mean, these guys were genius. Some of them, one in particular, was a genius. Out of these 5 men, 4 of them were given 2 weeks' notice. This is over a period of years now. The 5th one was given 2 hours' notice. And of the 5, he was the sharpest. And his boss knew it. That department had to have $150,000 cut from their budget within a week. This guy was on his boss's tail. My boss was on his boss's tail for his job, and he knew it. He took the opportunity to kill 2 birds with 1 stone, cut the budget, and get rid of his biggest competition. Reality had set in for me. I started realizing if these men had no security, I didn't have any either. I was probably on somebody's list and didn't know it yet. I tried investing in the stock market. I'm very frugal. Sherry, we saved up 2 years of her salary, okay, trying to get ahead, and half a year of my salary over a period of time. And I took after this happened, I took all this money, I invested it in the stock market. I tell people I was very successful in the stock market. Within a matter of a few short weeks, I was able to successfully eliminate 2.5 years of savings. Do you know that Sherry has never brought that up? Never. 2 years of her work, she had nothing to show for it. Never. And I appreciate it. Ladies, I know your husband doesn't do everything right. He makes mistakes. He's human. He tries some things and gives up. It's probably good for you that he gave up on those other things. He's excited about this now, and you don't believe in it because you've lost confidence. You stuck through him through the other things. Don't stop now. This is the one. This is the one that can work. And you know what? Not only that, he's got a support team that's there willing to help him and you really acquire your dreams. You're not in this alone. You're not out there struggling by yourself. You've got people that lead the way and telling you, we're here, we believe in you, we're not going to give up on you if you just won't give up on yourself. And don't give up on each other. Form that unbreakable team that you promised yourself you were going to be years ago. Now, I know some of you guys, I ask this occasionally, well, what'd you promise your wives if you married them? This one guy, he's kind of a gruff old guy, he says, well, he said, I didn't promise her anything. And he's married to a very sweet woman. She said, that's true. He didn't promise me anything. And he's lived up to his promises too. So hopefully it's gone beyond that. But you know, you've got a winning combination here. You've got a combination of a business that works, a team that'll help you. And they're not going to do it for you, but they will be in there swinging with you just as hard as you want to swing. Well, anyhow, after that disillusionment, I was looking for something. I'd changed job. I took a job as a plant supervisor and started working about 60 hours a week. And about this time, I got a phone call, much the same as you probably got. The guy said, I got a business idea, it looks good. I'd worked with him at the other company. He's a research chemist. He said, can you be? I said, hey. He said, I got a business. I said, what time? He said, 7:30 at my house. Great. He said, bring your wife. I called Sherry up and I said, Sherry, get somebody to substitute for you in the class you're supposed to teach tonight. Keep the babysitter. I'm going to pick you up. We're going to go look at a business idea. She said, well, what's it all about? When she asked that question, it was the first I'd realized that I hadn't asked any questions. And I thought, well, I don't want her to think I'm stupid. I said, I don't have time to get into all that right now. Just make sure you're ready by 7:15. We went over there, looked at sat down, in walks Dex. Now, I'd never met a Dexter before in my life. I'd never heard of that, okay? Little short, stocky guy, okay, he comes in. He starts talking right away. I can tell he's from New York, so right away I know he's a crook.